Okay, 3, 2.
You got Sarah here from Embolden Adventures. And I've been kind of quiet lately. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. First of all, we have this amazing new set for the Embolden Adventures TV show that's going to be coming on YouTube. And I'm finding that I want to reach out to folks, and the way of doing it is really through media, through video. And I think this is going to be interesting because you're going to come on the road with me by video and kind of see the world through my eyes and also through the lens of this video camera. So we're going to try this. The podcast has been going great. It's kind of been quiet a little bit. The blog has been coming along, but the website is in development, so I'm excited soon to be launching the new Embolden Adventures website, emboldenadventures.com. And one big trip that is coming up actually next week is a big trip across the world. It's 5 weeks away, which I've never been away for more than 5 weeks, living out of a suitcase, actually a duffel bag in this case. I don't know, have you guys, maybe tell me in the comments if you've been away for more than a week or 2 or 5 or more in this instance. But yeah, we got something big going on here. Next week, less than a week, I leave on Friday, and it's Saturday right now. First to Morocco, so we're going to Africa, Northern Africa. And it's going to be about 10 days across, various cities in the country, Casablanca, Marrakesh, Fez, the Blue City, and this is for a bachelorette party, which should be super interesting. But also, I'm going to turn around, fly back to New York City, and literally in the airport get to a different terminal, get back on a plane and take a red eye to Peru. And it's just working out in this very interesting way. I've already had this bachelorette party planned, and I have an opportunity that I think is maybe once in a lifetime, maybe something unique. I'm going to be going to the rainforest in the north, east part of Peru, right along the Amazon River, but deep into the rainforest. And my friend Michelle, she's emboldening me really, because she was really on this quest for this spiritual awakening in the Peruvian rainforest with the Shipibo tribe. So, I've had this opportunity. I'm in between full-time jobs right now, and my job kind of went away at the end of the year, and this opportunity just kind of came in a very opportune time. And here I am now on a plane after landing from 10 days in Morocco and heading south to Peru to join Michelle into a little tiny town in the Amazon River, near the Amazon River anyway, called Iquitos, Iquitos, Iquitos. And the next day we're going to get picked up by this retreat center, and we're going to go by boat up the Nene River. And depending on how the tides are, it could take upwards to an hour just kind of going through the river, the rainforest along the river. And then we're going to hike, another hour or so into the jungle. They've warned us to bring our mud boots because it's probably going to be pretty wet and pretty muddy. And this is where the duffel bag really comes into play. I can't really bring, one of your suitcases with wheels. It's just not easy to kind of port an hour into the rainforest off the grid, off any sort of highway. Really beyond where civilization is, the modern day civilization. But anyway, we're going to this place where we'll be 2 weeks away off grid, which I'll bring this video camera with me, and I'm going to try to document as much as I can with the battery power that I have, because I'm not really allowed to charge anything while I'm there for 2 weeks. So I've come prepared with multiple batteries, multiple charge packs, because I think this is going to be really important to, document, maybe video document in this case. I'm going to be taking ayahuasca, and people are going, Haya what? Haya who? Haya, huh? Ayahuasca is, it's a psychedelic. It's kind of like the king of all psychedelics. It's a root. No, it's a vine, actually, I think. It's the bark of some vine that grows in the Amazon rainforest. And there's another leaf, which I forget the name, but I'll get it to you because I want to do another video more in depth about why I think I've been called to do this. This is a calling in certain respects. Lots of coincidences that have really kind of pointed me in this direction. And the Shipibo tribe, they've been around for a very long time, multiple centuries, I believe. Really kind of found a way that certain plants work together in creating this psychedelic experience beyond all else. And mind you, I've never done psychedelics in my life, so I've never touched mushrooms. I've never done any hard drugs. I don't really know what I'm in for, to be honest. I've watched a lot of testimonials online and read a lot since this opportunity has come to me, but it's impossible to tell exactly what's going to happen because everyone's experiences are different. But generally speaking, it's beyond the veil of the material world, and there's going to be a lot of terrifying things where I have to face my demons, literally demons, and fears that come and manifest in this very kind of spiritual psychedelic way. But also, it's an opportunity to really be close to God and really understand the spirit of Mama Ayahuasca, Mother Nature, Pachamama, Viracocha, all these kind of, spirits beyond the material world that are here to help. It's a healing. It's a medicine. They call it a medicine. So I'll be with the tribe in this retreat center with 30 other people from around the world who have yet to meet. We have some Facebook group that just got newly established and have a phone call, kind of a conference call happening, right before I leave on Friday. But folks are coming for all reasons. Some are healers, some have holistic centers, some are doctors, some are struggling with addiction and depression. Sometimes people come as a last resort in certain instances because all other Western conventions just aren't seeming to work. In the case of post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, as I mentioned, other sort of, kind of real difficult situations that people are in, addictions. I'm going because I'm curious. I am also going because, and I'll go into this some more with a different video, but to me, I think it's going to open my eyes and see, what my true calling is, and, maybe answer some bigger kind of picture questions and help me really get a sense of this unwavering faith that others seem to have. And, I'm always kind of questioning, what if, or is this real true? And my scientific brain is always kind of being the skeptic. So what we'll be doing is working with the shamans of the Shipibo tribe, and they will be working with us from an energetic kind of place, and we'll drink this brew that they create. It's a tea of the ayahuasca root and this other leaf, and it inhibits some sort of enzyme in our body, which allows us to really ingest this DMT chemical that allows us to see this pretty extraordinary psychedelic experience. And the shamans, they feel the energetic presence of the plants, the vibrations, and with that there is these icaros that they sing, and depending on what the plants are telling them, they'll be singing it during these ceremonies at night. So, I'll be in the rainforest with Michelle and others for 2 weeks, 7 ceremonies, which is a lot. It's not normal. I think typically people do about 3. Maybe if you're in Brooklyn and Greenpoint or somewhere in upstate New York, you may do 1. At Burning Man, people do 1. But we're doing 7. So it's going to be pretty extraordinary, I think. Good and bad. But nonetheless, you walk out of this pretty moved. And, being in the rainforest, and this is where I recommend you go online and to emboldenadventures.com, because, I did a podcast and a piece about being in the jungle in Belize with my friend Allie. And when you're off grid for a week straight in the middle of the rainforest, it really does change you. There's this, your kind of exterior goes away, it melds into nature. Same thing with diving. When you're neutrally buoyant underwater, you tend to lose yourself, your physical self, and your sixth sense really becomes, I think, very powerful. And so, when you're immersed in the rainforest, this far away from the river, because we'll be hiking, and this far away from, a town, Iquitos, we're amongst the tribe, amongst Mother Nature. And so for 2 weeks straight, that I think in itself is going to be a great way to decompress and to become one with nature in a very kind of, extraordinary, kind of mystical way. So that trip in itself, to just be in the rainforest in Peru, is going to be really cool, like the Amazon jungle. So we got Morocco, Northern Africa, camels and like the markets and, the Blue City. What is it called? It's called Chefchaouen, which is a really beautiful city, all blue kind of tile. And then I go off really 25 hours later, and I'll find myself into the jungle. And then after that, make my way back to Iquitos by river and fly to Cusco. And by then, my brother and his girlfriend Joanne would have already, visited Machu Picchu and the Sacred Valley, Ollantaytambo, and other places in Peru, which I've already done, a few years back. Machu Picchu is amazing. I'll meet them in Cusco, and then what we're doing, so this is the third part of my trip, I'll say goodbye to Michelle, say goodbye to my new friends that I'll have met at this retreat center, and then we're going to head on, the three of us, to southern Peru and to Bolivia. And this is our very own Ancient Aliens. The TV show you watch, Giorgio and all them talk about these ancient sites that, can't possibly be made by man. It has to be aliens. And so if you're big fans of them, a lot of my trips I tend to plan around these, places they've talked about on TV, like Stonehenge and Easter Island and, other places too. I hope to go to Egypt this year as well, so that's another ancient alien site. But what we're doing, this is kind of a, again, very advantageous opportunity since I'll already be in Peru. I already have this time, granted to me. We're going to go to southern Peru. We're going to head down Lake Titicaca, which is bordering Bolivia, and then go over through the border to Tiwanaku and Pumapuku, which is the Wiracocha, the sun god temple. And then from there, we're going to head over to the Salar de Uyuni, which is a really flat salt plain. It's just gorgeous. I posted it on Facebook. There's this musician that's performing at this gorgeous salt plains. And what it is the salt, kind of hits the horizon, and the kind of, blue sky and the horizon kind of meld as one. So it's an optical illusion. It's just really pretty. So we'll be there, and then we'll go into the desert, see the James Flamingos, the train cemetery. There's a lot of cool things that we're going to do. And we'll head back into Peru again, and then, top it off with a plane ride over the Nazca lines. So these ancient, large type of kind of structures and designs were put together, and you could see them from the plane. So we're going to go check that out, and then go to Ica, which is a town on the Pacific Ocean that's very dry and has a lot of sand dunes. So we'll go ahead and hang out the oasis, and then do some sandboarding down the sand dunes. And then we finish up in Lima, which is known for its kind of future-forward cuisine. It's kind of a hot spot in South America for like these restaurants. And so we'll do that. There's a catacombs, some sort of convent in one of these cathedrals in Lima. And so we're going to go check out, those skulls from way back when in the catacombs, and do a quick city tour and then head back to New York. So that, all in a nutshell, is this epic 5-week trip that I'm on. 3 parts: Morocco, the rainforest, and then southern Peru, Bolivia for the Ancient Alien tour. and then I head back to New York again. So I'll be living in a duffel bag living out of a duffel bag for 5 weeks. It'll be an adventure, but you're going to follow me because I'm taking this camera with me and posting online. So you'll see how it goes. I think what's most interesting that others are commenting about so far that I'm hearing, a lot of my friends are super interested in, the effects of ayahuasca, like what's going to happen. And, is this some sort of like just, trip in the jungle? No, it's not. Like they're very clear, this retreat center, about this not being a tripping center, it's a healing center. And I got interviewed before I was accepted into the program. So they're taking this very seriously. And there's also a scientific research study that's being done. I think it's Dr. Robin Cahart, but I'm not sure. It's he did a TED Talk on psychedelics, and he's at the Royal College of London. So we're participating in this study as well. So this is on the forefront, I think, of where things are going. People are starting to really see the benefits of mushrooms and other sort of natural kind of remedies here that are helping to cure or at least mitigate people's kind of depressions and kind of ailments that they're feeling. So there's people are paying attention now, and I think that you're going to hear more about this. I think some of the criticisms are it's a tourism thing. You're seeing a lot of Westerners coming to the Peruvian jungle, and there's others kind of taking advantage of tourists, and but it's not dangerous. Not that I've understood it to be. We're in really good hands, and it's going to be eye-opening. It's going to be an awakening. At least I hope so. We have to come in with no expectations. But I think all in all, just being in the rainforest amongst the tribe, having different experiences throughout these 5 weeks is the true nature of why I'm doing Embolden Adventures, is because, travel really opens your mind. It just puts you in a new kind of experience. It teaches you strength. It teaches you courage. It gives you confidence. And it's just the world's classroom. You learn so much about yourself, about cultures, near and far, past, present, and future. Puts things in perspective. I think you appreciate people beyond your neighborhood a lot more. You appreciate your neighborhood a lot more. The amenities you have at home, as opposed to, certain places you visited that just aren't as comfortable. But it also helps you see that the world in your own eyes is not the world that you may sometimes see on TV or through the news or the skewed way of it being portrayed. But we can talk about that. I mean, through some of my travels over time, how the TV situation was showing one thing and I was physically there, and I'll tell you, Scout's honor, it was definitely a different experience than what you were seeing over on TV. So either way, I'm kind of rambling here, but this is my itinerary. I mean, we're kind of going to get to this at some point. It's 7 pages. I put it together. Because this is such a detailed trip, it's very important that I have my information in order. And this is what I typically do anyway. I put a very kind of nicely clean, set of information at my fingertips. And this is with me while I travel throughout, the trip. And, it has key information like my flight information, my reference numbers, duration of the flight, layovers, terminal information. But it also has like hotel information, like addresses and what time I need to check in. And, it gives me a sense of the lay of the land, like how much time I need to budget between traveling, between the hotel, the airport, time for check-in. But I think what's most important too is, this back page here is, and I'll try to gray out a lot of this, but I have my frequent flyer information. I have my passport information that's handy. And I think, my trip insurance information is handy in case I, God forbid, get into, a little bit of a pickle. At least I have, this to call them and kind of seek out, how I can use my trip insurance for the reasons it's needed. And I think what's most important is this calendar. So I actually put a quick calendar together to show me, visually when I'm leaving, when the days I'm gone, when certain kind of parts of the trip are happening at certain times. So we can go into this at another time, maybe at a different kind of Embolden Adventures session. But that's it in a nutshell. So stay tuned. I mean, time's ticking away. In less than 6 days, I'm literally doing this trip. And who knows what's going to happen, as I mentioned. I'm just taking this one day at a time. The train's left the station. I can't turn around now. I've already bought the flight, booked the trip. Everything's pretty much done. Now it's just a matter of playing it out. I was saying to my friends, I said this twice already, it feels like, the time right before college, and that life's going to change that first day of college when you move into your dorm. And you're going to meet new people, you're going to have a roommate, you're going to just have new experiences. And it's the time between when high school ended and a new life is beginning. And, there's this Facebook group now with this retreat center, and those 30 folks, we're just now beginning to get to know who we are and who's going to be there. But at the end of this, they may be lifelong lasting friends because we're going to be sharing something pretty incredible together. And so I'm kind of like anxious, nervous, because it's like the train's leaving, right? There's no turning it around, but it's slowly approaching, what we're about to embark on. And we're going to all be changed as a result. So stay tuned. We'll see how it goes. Be emboldened. Did it go good? Yeah?
Perfect.